Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Lisa Bassini and I'm the baking coach, and today we are going to make garlic knots. So let's get started. The first ingredient for the garlic knots is we're going to add into this bowl 3/4 cup warm water. Now this water, meaning it's warm, it is about 105 degrees. So it should be comfortable to the touch, but here is the water. Okay. Alrighty. The next thing we're going to add into the bowl is 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast and 1 teaspoon of sugar. Then I'm going to just use a craft stick. I'm infamously using craft sticks because I love them. But you could use a spoon, nothing fancy. And here we have our yeast and our water. And as you can see, the yeast is just kind of collecting, not really doing much of anything. So you're gonna let it sit for about 5 minutes. We don't have 5 minutes. I don't have 5 minutes of knock knock jokes, so I made one already. And here is a bowl of yeast and water and sugar. And as you can see, it's very foamy. Okay, so it's a whole different bowl game from what it was just a few minutes ago. And to this bowl, we are going to add 1 3/4 cup all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of salt. Oops, gotta get it all in. Then we are going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Perfect. And mix that up. If you hear that tapping, that's actually my dog Barney. He's like right there. I think he's scratching at his ear. Okay, so I started this process with my craft stick. And now I'm going to just work the dough with my hand. Once the dough is combined, knead it a little bit in the bowl, but don't go crazy. This dough is very soft. It should be soft, but it shouldn't totally be sticking to your hand. You see how I'm just squeezing it and it's just coming right off of my hand? So you want to just work the dough together. Don't overwork it. Let the yeast kind of relax a minute. We're gonna add some flour to the top of the dough. Just a little bit of flour to coat it. Wrap it in plastic wrap and then put a towel over it so it rises. And here I have made another batch of dough, and as you can see the size difference, this is the one we just made, and this is what happens after about 45 minutes to an hour. So I'm gonna take this dough and place it on my parchment paper. I'm gonna break it in half using my craft stick. This is why I love craft sticks. Now it's turning into a knife. It's like magic. I'm gonna cut it into 2 pieces, about 6 inches long. And then here's how I try to keep this in perfect measurement. I'm gonna cut this in half and then cut each half into 3 equal parts. So that will make 6 pieces. So I have, this will be also broken up into 3 pieces. And that makes, we're gonna just make the 6. Okay, let's put this dough over here. But this recipe makes a total of 12. But we don't have that much time, so I have to be careful with my time. So let's work on 6 and then I'll work on the other 6 later. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is you just, once this dough sits, it becomes very simple to stretch because the gluten has relaxed and you're able to move the dough around pretty quickly. You could spray your parchment pan, parchment paper with a little bit of cooking spray if you like. It shouldn't stick. Most things don't stick onto parchment, especially when it's just a plain dough like this. So now I'm gonna knot the dough into a knot shape. So here we go. Make a U and then make a knot. There you go. And one cookie sheet will hold a full dozen. Make a knot. There you go. Make a U and make a knot. You can let your knots sit once again for an hour on the pan. They get light and fluffier. You can and you can't. If you need them in a hurry and don't have 2 hours, then go ahead and bake them. They'll come out delicious. But if you let them wait an extra hour before putting them into the oven, or any amount of time, up to an hour, they'll be a lot lighter and fluffier and more spongy. So you may want to do that. So either or, I kind of make it optional. All right. Now I have my 6 knots. If this was going to be my 12 knots, it would look like this. I would have 3 rows of 4, okay? But I've only knotted 6 at this point. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside. Actually, I'm going to be pulling out a tray of knots that are in the oven right now, and they're just about done. So the garlic knots would go, you would either let them sit for a little longer, wrap them, not wrap them in, but gently lay a piece of plastic wrap on top of them that's easily taken off. This is going to go into a 400-degree oven, and they will bake until golden brown. So usually it takes about 10 to 12 minutes. If they're not golden brown enough for you, let them go a little longer. So I'm going to be pulling out some hot garlic knots. Oh, these are wonderful. These knots haven't even, I put them right in after making the knots. So I think they sat out for maybe 20 minutes, 20, 25 minutes. Here are some beautiful garlic knots just coming right out of the oven. You would normally let them sit for about, I would say, 5 minutes because they're super burning hot right now. In this bowl, I have 4 tablespoons of butter, your remaining olive oil of 2 tablespoons, 2 teaspoons of granulated garlic, not granulated garlic, chopped garlic from the jar. If you don't have chopped garlic, you can go ahead and use 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic. Never too much garlic, isn't that something? And then also in here is 2 teaspoons of parsley. So that makes it super delicious. And what I do is I kind of dunk the garlic knot and then kind of scoop up the garlic on top, or you can put this in a larger bowl and toss them, which is also super delicious. Either way, can't go wrong. So, but I'll show you what the garlic knot looks like after it's been dunked in some butter and garlic and parsley, this mixture right here. This is a finished garlic knot and it's absolutely delicious. Smells so good. If you're a person that likes a lot of salt, you can feel free to put a little kosher salt on there too. But that, my friends, is how you make garlic knots. So let me see if I can touch one of these to show you that. Yeah, it's totally fine. So I'm gonna just like scoop up. I can kind of toss it around. I want to get some of that garlicky goodness on top of there. And there you go. That is a garlic knot. So delicious. I just want to bite into that, but I swore to myself I'd be good on my diet today. You can make the butter and the garlic mixture over the stove. You don't have to use your microwave. You put it in a small saucepan, and it's just until the butter is melted. And then just enjoy your knots. Any uneaten garlic knots should be stored in the refrigerator. You can cover them. And that is how you make garlic knots. Pretty easy. So my name is Lisa Bassini. I'm the baking coach. If you're looking for today's recipe, you can log on to my website, which is bakingcoach.com, if you don't already have the recipe. But I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this workshop on how to make garlic knots. Until I see you again, have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.